Welcome, everyone, to the Meaningful Hearts Podcast, where we discuss the everyday questions that make us or break us if we let them. With your hosts, Drew and Daniela. Take our hands and let's walk this journey together. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Meaningful Hearts Podcast. Today, I am flying solo. Daniela has the day off. I'd like to talk about something that popped up for me the other day. While I was at the grocery store, I was with my mom, I was with Daniela, and we were scattered across the grocery store just trying to grab everything for our meal. And this woman walked up to Daniela and I. My mom was off somewhere else grabbing something. And at first, we passed her and we were kind of like joking with Daniela and I were joking about something. And she goes, "You guys sound like a really lovely couple. That's great." And then in passing her again, she kind of started talking about, because we were nearby, started talking about food. And I think the conversation went where we ended up engaging with her at some point. In any case, we drew close and we started talking. We started talking about food. And she's like, "Yeah, I have all this food in my cart, but depending on what my husband wants, I'll either make this or I'll make that." And it was, at the time, it was about 7 o'clock at night. It was 6:37 at night on a Sunday. And I was like, wow, this lady's about to cook a crazy long meal at the drop of a dime, a drop of a hat. Very interesting, very lovely, very sweet lady. She was just somebody to talk to, somebody to, vibe with, I guess, at the moment. So she was just talking to us and we were having a great conversation. And then my mother comes back from wherever she was grabbing something and she joined the conversation. And the lady was just talking about how she loves to cook and it doesn't matter who comes over, her friends, family, at a moment's notice, she's ready to cook and throw down in the kitchen. She loves doing it and she cooks every single day. She doesn't reheat leftovers. And we were just like, okay, that's cool. And then she started talking about some crazy recipe that she discovered. It's like eggplant with pasta in the middle. And it's like this really easy recipe. She's really proud of it, showing us pictures. And as that was going on and as my mom was interacting, in my mind, I was feeling a bit uncomfortable. And I'll explain to you why in a moment. So after we part ways from the lady and it was me, my mom, and Daniela now walking out towards the cash register, my mom's like, "Oh, that woman was really starting to irritate me. She was really starting to kind of annoy me." I was like, "Oh, I'm so..." And then she starts making judgments about, that dish that she showed us looked disgusting. Ugh. I was like nauseated by it. Even the thought of it, I was just, that one was really annoying. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, that's what you got out of this whole thing. That's what you got out of this whole interaction. That's what you got out of this whole conversation. I was enjoying that woman's company with Daniela, and we were just talking, just vibing out, having a great conversation with somebody that maybe doesn't get conversation or interacts like that. Or maybe the grocery store is where she gets to interact with other people and kind of share what she enjoys, what she loves about her life, and maybe interact with others that feel the same or want to share some stories. That's what I was enjoying about our conversation until my mom came over. And I knew at that very moment that my mom was being nice, but she was not feeling the same way as what she was saying out on the outside. And I knew that there was going to be a laundry list thing she was going to rattle off as soon as we left, as soon as we walked away from that woman. And I felt bad because it started to get into my head about the thoughts that go through my mind growing up and how I was brought up and how I was raised. So now we fast forward to why we're having this conversation, why we're having this topic of conversation. And it's I guess awareness of how we perceive people, how we look at them, and how we're so super critical of them. And sometimes we don't realize it, right? Sometimes it just doesn't pop into our heads. It's not something that we necessarily realize we're doing. I mean, we live in the age of social media where people see a picture and they have, it could be a great picture, it could be a great post from a big celebrity, and there's just different people having different opinions that are either good or bad, indifferent. And it's just, people are just so quick to just jump on and say things, and that's how they truly feel. And I lived in a household before social media existed. Before social media existed, yes, this is a thing. Before social media existed, it was me growing up with my brother and sister, my mom and my dad in a house, and I would get to listen to my parents' opinions on this person or that person, if there was something on TV and how they felt, or this person that they worked with, or a friend or an acquaintance, the neighbor across the street, or a little friend of mine that I happen to play with in the backyard or in the street. There was opinions being tossed around left and right, and it started to become my belief system. It started to become the way that I perceive the world. I became very judgmental at a very young age. And I started to dislike people just because, just for any reason whatsoever. I don't know, you have a funny looking face, you're ugly, you're fat, you smell bad. You That's the type of music you listen to. Oh my God. I can't be, I'm not going to talk to you. Like you're this or you're that. And as I became an adult over time, and being around people that hold you accountable, held me accountable, I started to realize that these are just the voices of people that I lived with, that became my voice in my head. And nobody really, I guess, held them accountable, or anybody around them actually said, "Hey, why do you feel that way? Why is that?" That's, you don't even know that person. They were never challenged on it. I just think that they were put around people that were just like them, that had the same opinion. And I used to see it all the time, that my mom would associate with people that had the same thought process as her, or my dad, and same there. So when they were talking, they'd all have, they bring up somebody and they would just disparage that person, just say whatever about that person. It's so crazy to see it. And it blows my mind that on a larger scale, a lot of people do not know that they're being this judgmental. They're not being held accountable. And it really paints the picture of this world that you live in, and people that you might have, you don't know what they're going through or what they've been through or who they are exactly. You don't even give yourself the gift to be in their presence and truly appreciate who they are. And I think that's something that, as I got older, as time went on, I started to do. And I started to separate myself from my family, separate myself from those opinions as much as I could. Listen, I'm not perfect, and we all make judgments. I mean, if we don't say it out loud, we make judgments. But all I'm saying is, give people a fair chance. Give somebody a fair chance. Try to know them. Just even the moment you're at the grocery store, let that person boast about their cooking or their family or their kid or whatever it is. It's okay. People like to share what they feel and how, and if they're sharing joy and spreading joy, that's wonderful. There's so many people spreading hate and spreading nonsense in this world. If somebody's out there just for a moment, just interacting with them, and they're giving good energy to you, and giving a good vibe, take it all in. It's free. Being a good person is free. And I think people struggle with it. They struggle with it like it's the hardest thing to do. And most people who behave this way create a world where people are so ashamed or so afraid to be who they are, because they're afraid they're going to be judged. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Like it's very hard to be yourself sometimes, and people put on a facade and act a certain way so they'll be accepted. And I think it's crazy. I think it sucks, because you never know how amazing somebody is if they don't care to share it with you because they're afraid. And maybe I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but it really did shape my mind for the longest time. And I had a lot of judgments about a lot of things, and I didn't even give a fair shake of people that were around me. And as I got older, as I left high school, even high school too, it's very much like that, where you're clicked up with a specific set of people and you just don't, certain people don't intermingle with each other. And as soon as high school's over, people who wouldn't have normally hung out in high school are hanging out after the fact. It's funny. It's interesting. But I just think that it's crazy to look at that interaction and know how my mom was going to react and being aware of it. I think that's the best part, right? I grew out of that household and the way people behaved and understood that that's not appropriate and that's not becoming, and that's not the way that you grow. That's not how you become a better human being. And some of the greatest people that I have in my life or that I've met along the way was because I learned and understood that. A lot different than me, come from a different walks of life and have a different view on things, but have put perspectives and let me see things in a different light. And I've only allowed myself that by being able to let go of some of the judgments and let go of the things that I thought I knew or perceived, and became a lot better. I'm not perfect. Once again, I'm not perfect, but a lot better. And next time you see somebody and maybe you're quick to make a judgment or maybe just in your head, just kind of just let that go for a moment and just say, hey, like, I don't know this person. I don't know who they are, what they do, but maybe try to interact with them. Say hello. Maybe you're in the grocery store and they're shopping for groceries. Make a joke, start up a conversation. There's a lot of beautiful people in this world that can spread a lot of great energy and make their day better and make your day even better. Well, thank you for listening. I love you all, and have a good day, week, year, month. I love you all. Bye.